How's it guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through an expected data video on the weekend matches. So starting off with Arsenal versus Forest. Arsenal definitely dominated this game. Forest, even with Ange, the expected data, expected goals was quite low actually. We still don't know what to expect from, well, I mean, we do know exactly what to expect with that Postecoglou team. Definitely going to be very attacking. Their defense is going to suffer a bit. Maybe good for Wood, but we also don't know if Ange is going to backward. He might look to play another forward there. Not really sure if Wood will fit his system. But he has two perfect fixtures to see if he can put together some good performances for Forest. So I guess we'll see what Ange will do. It will be quite exciting watching those games as well. Arsenal really dominated. They were looking really good. Gyökeres is someone who's becoming a very interesting option. Expected goal involvement of 0.86 with 0.84 expected goals. Arsenal have had some quite tough fixtures to start the season, and he still had some very good expected data. So with easier fixtures, he could definitely be someone to bring into your team. The next two, I think, are quite difficult, but after that, it does get easier. So maybe a little bit of a wait until after the City fixture. But yeah, I think with our teams that we're definitely going to be looking for a striker around his value. Maybe either him or Isaac. That might be a tough decision we have to face coming up. Eze had good expected data, 0.44 expected assists. Madueke, 0.71 expected assists. So that was very good from him. Depending on the Saka injury, he could become an option, but obviously Saka would come back when he is fit. So something to mention, Zubamendi only had a 0.16 expected goals, and he scored 2 goals in this game. So, yeah, please don't bring him into your team. He's not going to do that every game. Um, but yeah, he's a CDM. He's not going to, definitely not going to score 2 goals very frequently. Even 1 goal, not going to happen very often. Moving on to the next game, Semenyo Hall. Semenyo had an expected goal involvement of 0.93, so that 0.87 expected goals came mostly from his penalty. Clivert wasn't on the field at the time, that's why Semenyo took it. We weren't sure if Ivan Olsen could have actually been the penalty taker, but it looks like it will be Semenyo if Clivert isn't on the field. Clivert's game time this season hasn't been as good. He hasn't started majority of the games. Usually comes on the back end of it, and even if he does start, he only plays about 60 minutes. So Semenyo, on top of his high open goal threat in most games, he does look like half of the time he will be the penalty taker on the field. Um, Brighton were not too bad. They're definitely a team to that has some competency. Matoma had a zero point 0.4 expected goal involvements and Mente 0.29. They definitely, someone like a Matoma, he has been an option in the past and he's someone to look at if Brighton do have a good run of fixtures. He's one of those guys that's just forgotten, so he could be a very good differential if you're looking for it. And there is a fixture swing there at some point. Moving on to the Palace Sunderland game, 1.77 expected goals for Palace in this game, which is actually quite high, especially considering it was a 0-0 draw. Mateta had some very good expected data, so did Daniel Munoz. Mateta had a 0.58 expected goals, which is very high. So you're a bit unlucky if you did have him. Munoz 0.34 expected goal involvements, which is really good, and he could have easily got an attacking return in this game. They do have West Ham next, um, so definitely keep when you have these Palace assets. Hopefully, they get a few of the injury guys back. Wharton was actually out for this game, him and Saar. So Saar's injury looks maybe he'll be out for another game, maybe two. Wharton could very possibly be back in the next game, which will definitely not only help their defense but their play moving forward as well. The Everton Villa game was quite interesting. I actually watched this with my mates on Saturday, and Everton were looking really good. They've got a good team there, lots of attacking threat. They're actually exciting, which is weird to say about Everton, but those attackers, I'd say the front three. I don't want to say the striker because they are struggling with strikers. They don't have a striker who can Um, maybe they don't have a lot of talent in finishing, both strikers, I'd say, but their three creative players behind that number nine is really good. Um, your Ndai, Drewsbury Hall, and Grealish. There's so much creativity there, and if they had a proper number nine, I think it would be really lethal. But Beto or Barry, I would even get one of them if I knew one of them was nailed. Well, Beto specifically, but those guys look like they're going to rotate. Barry's probably the long-term option in there for Everton, and they'll probably look to get him into the team more often. But Beto is definitely looking better at the moment, but too much of an injury risk. I mean, rotation risk to go there. Aston Villa. Aston Villa still without a goal, only team in the league without a goal um, this season so far. Villa, Ollie Watkins, Rogers both had terrible expected data again. Elliot came onto the field. I was hoping it would look incredible with him in there, maybe a lot more creativity, but not a lot changed. I do see him getting more and more game time in this team. This team's definitely not good enough for him not to play. He's a really good player. I don't know whether he will play 10 or right wing. I'd say 10, and Rogers probably move out into the right wing, but that's something to wait and see about. Moving on to the Fulham Leeds game, there's really not much to talk about here. Two quite boring teams, to be honest. Um, these two teams don't have a lot of threat in attack, so I mean, and they both are looking good defensively this season, so they kind of just nullified each other in this game. I had King, and you can see they had terrible expected data, which was not great. I had to play him because of my saw injury. He had a 0.01 expected goal involvement, which was quite terrible. Muniz wasn't too bad, 0.19 expected goal involvements. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 0.35 expected goal involvements. So he's someone to look at. I know he's one of the worst finishers in the league historically, especially I think his last season for Everton. If he could find some form, because he has been an asset in the past, if he could find some form, he could be an option. Because Leeds really aren't looking too bad of a team. So if they carry on looking this good, or at least above average, then their number nine could definitely be an option. I think he is quite cheap. I'm not sure about his price, but he's probably around 5.56, I'd say, which is relatively cheap. You'd expect him to be on penalties as well. Something about Leeds, their defense is looking really good. Goodmanson, I had him in my team. I started him this week. So he was on a 6 pointer until like the 94th minute until he scored an own goal. And that 6 pointer went to zero. So that was quite tough to watch. But they are quite good defensively. So their 4.0 options like Goodmanson are very possible starts when you do need them. They're not just bench fodder. You can definitely bring them into your team. Newcastle versus Wolves. Not too much to say in this game. Voldemort started. He got a 0.28 expected goal involvements. Murphy had a crazy expected goal involvements of 1.1, over one expected goal involvement, which was ridiculous for him. There's just too much rotation risk there. And it looks like Howe is quite keen to rotate his players and keep everyone fresh for the season. He's already rotating them so early on. It means you can't touch any of them. You can't touch Barnes, Murphy, you have Alanga who's going to come in. Gordon's going to be coming in soon again after I think he's suspended for one more game week. Voldemort, you can't even touch because Visa's probably going to start more games than not, I'd say. I think Visa's a very good number nine and he knows how league works. He's a very good finisher. I see him starting most of it. Their defense, Newcastle defense is definitely a defense that you could look to invest in. Someone like Pope, if you are on a wild card at the moment, I'd definitely go Pope over Sanchez. I think Pope is the best keeper value wise in the game right now. So if you're not going to go for a Donnarumma or Raya, I would definitely go Pope. Someone else, Livermento. He looks to be rotation free. We have Trippier and Hall, who could be other fullback options, rotation options, and Burn. Burn, I'm a bit worried about because I don't see him pushing one of the proper fullbacks to the bench. And when Botman comes back, it could be for Burn. So I would be a bit worried going for Burn. Trippier, I'd also be a bit worried, even though he's been playing very well lately, just because Hall is a threat and he's probably going to start getting more game time now, Hall. West Ham versus Spurs. Spurs were looking a lot better in this game. Their manager, Thomas Frank, is really good. How they were looking against Bournemouth the week before, and he just came and fixed it. Made a few big calls with the starting lineup. Some new faces, brought them all together quite well. And he's not scared to move players around, not playing in their fixed natural position. He'll bring in a Saar, play him at 10. Bergvall had a very interesting role in this game. Simmons out on the left, which was quite an upset for me. I had Johnson. I knew Johnson hadn't been playing well, and I knew Frank didn't like him just from the things we'd seen in the previous game weeks. So I thought I could maybe get a bit lucky and he start a few more games coming up. Spurs look a bit better, and then he starts maybe cementing his spot, but that doesn't look to be the case. So Simmons didn't play number 10 this game. He moved straight out onto the left wing. So it just shows Thomas Frank really doesn't back Johnson, and Johnson is a must sell if you do have him. I've already sold him. I freed up some money in some different positions and upgraded Johnson to Semenyo. So a big upgrade there, and happy we did that. Kudus had a really good goal involvement, expected goal involvement in this game, even though he didn't get a return, which I like quite a bit. He was looking better than previously. Previously, he only put up some expected assist numbers, and in this game, he actually got a decent expected goals. So maybe with a stronger team with him, he can be more of a goal threat. He doesn't have to take all that creativity on himself because you have Simmons now, you have a few other guys. The midfield is looking better in this game, and when Koulibaly coming into the team, maybe Simmons can play in the midfield every now and then as well. Koulibaly either on the left or centre. Um, there's enough creativity there where he doesn't have to take it all on himself and can maybe look to more goal orientated. So he could actually be an option, much better than what we have seen previously. Something interesting in West Ham, I didn't watch this game, but from what I see and heard, it looked like Paqueta was playing almost in a centre forward role, which was quite interesting. He didn't get great expected data, 0.26 expected goal involvements. Maybe this was due to quite a decent Spurs side with their defense and structure. Difficult to get a high XG against them. So they only got 0.6. So maybe if Paqueta does keep that role and he plays there in the next few games, maybe against some easy opposition, he could definitely be an option, an improved option for what he already was. We're already looking at him playing that cam, being on pens, DEFCON points. This could be quite interesting, especially with such a lack of midfielders that we have at the moment. Brentford versus Chelsea. Something to note straight away in this game is we had Maresca try rotate the team a bit. He took Cucurella out, brought in Hato for him. A few other rotations, leaving James out, no Gusto either, and he played for Fana there at right back. So these players didn't impress at all. He took them off at half time and brought back his go-tos. So it kind of does look good for someone like Cucurella's minutes going forward because they try to rotate in this game and the people below him just didn't look good enough. So maybe for the next few game weeks, I'd say Cucurella is safe. So if you have him, I'll stick with him. Someone else, Palmer, he came on and he was looking really good literally as he stepped onto the field. So he's definitely someone that could jump back into our vision quite soon, especially with the likes of Salah really not looking too great at the moment. Option for us could be Salah down to Palmer and then pretty much upgrade one of our attackers, such as Chris Wood, who, after these two great fixtures for him, maybe look to move him up to pretty much anyone in the game below Haaland. It would give us money to go up to either an Isaac or Gyökeres, whoever is looking best at that point. Obviously, Gyökeres is looking really good now, but when Isaac comes in, he might just be the focal point of that Liverpool team, best attack in the league they will be. So yeah, he might be someone that really does compete with Gyökeres for that mid-premium price, maybe attacker. Brentford actually had a higher expected goal involvement than Chelsea in this game, which was quite surprising. They had a change in formation, five at the back with wing backs, two strikers up top. Schade was playing as one of those strikers, him and Thiago. When I saw this, I thought your Schade could be a really good shout for that cheaper midfielder spot instead of like a Dewsbury Hall or Elliott. But then I saw Shaw's all the way up at 7 mil somehow. So he could have been a really good shot. But yeah, I wouldn't go that high for someone like a Shada when you have Semenyo so close to him. The Burnley Liverpool game, I was at a braai, so I couldn't watch the entire thing. I literally turned on the game in, I think, the 80th minute, so just in time for the penalty win. So it was actually great timing. So I'm glad I got to watch that. The expected stats, obviously, Burnley don't offer a lot going forward, especially in a game where they're going to be playing such a um, top team. They're going to look to park the bus, which is what they did, and it almost got them a point. They defended extremely well in this game. Liverpool racked up a whole 0.65 expected goals, which was really high. Obviously, the penalty is 0.79 of that, so it's quite high. Um, Other than that penalty, Salah didn't produce a lot. Verts did produce reasonably 0.43 expected goal involvements, and Gakpo 0.52 expected goal involvement. So these two, I'd say we definitely keep them for the Everton game coming up. I think they could do well in that game just to stay patient. And after that, save up a transfer to and maybe look to move them to some other assets. But yeah, I definitely keep them for another game week. Same with TK. I don't see Isaac coming in and starting the Everton game, especially considering he didn't get any game time off the bench. He wasn't even on the bench. So I'd say we're definitely safe with these three options for the next game week. Um, yeah, so stay patient and see what happens. Last game, this game was really fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. The City United, the Manchester Derby. It was looking really good. I was a Haaland and Rangers owner. Very unlucky for Rangers not to score. We should have finished that. It was a really big chance where Haaland put him through on goal. He was one on one with the keeper and he put it just wide. That would have been 8 pointer for my team. So it was a bit frustrating to watch. But yeah, I was very happy with owning Haaland in that game. Scored two goals, 2.03 expected goal involvements. I don't know why he only has 0.15 expected assists after putting Rangers in on goal. And I think most of Rangers 0.41 came from that opportunity. So yeah, it was a bit surprising. I thought that would be a high XA. Um, but yeah, that's the kind of thing where it's good watching the game as well because watching that game, Haaland he has been creating a big chance pretty much every game, and he's just so involved. And you actually want him in these games where the teams he's playing are actually going to be looking to attack and transition because it's in transition that Haaland is at his best. So I'm not extremely excited for a team like Burnley. I would never. I'm not gonna. There's no chance I'm gonna triple captain Haaland against Burnley. But if you look at their fixtures after that, maybe like Everton. Everton could be a great game to captain Haaland. Their their defense hasn't been looking amazing. They have been keeping some clean sheets, but they are very low down for expected clean sheets in this season so far. They're missing Brathwaite, which does look like they are struggling in that sense. But they're also a much more, say, attack orientated team this year. So they're going to look to attack and Haaland could kill them on those counters. So it's definitely a triple captain opportunity against Everton in that game. And if you are looking at triple captaining Haaland in Burnley against Burnley, Burnley are just going to park the bus, and Haaland doesn't thrive off of that. He needs that transition, that space on the break. That's what this City team really does like at the moment. So I would put it off until the Everton game, which is 2 game weeks after Burnley, I think. So yeah, definitely something to look at there. And if you don't have Haaland, I'm very happy I have him in my team. I'll definitely look to try bring him in. Maybe not in the next game week because they are playing Arsenal, who are the best defense in the league. Maybe save up a transfer and then after that look to restructure your team a bit. Maybe a Salah out to hopefully a Palmer and downgrade someone else and bring in Holland. But if you can't get Palmer, um, drop into pretty much anyone so you can get Holland. Yeah, United weren't looking terrible. Their defense obviously wasn't looking great, but on attack, I thought they're actually quite promising. And Buemo is looking really good. He should have had a goal. Donnarumma, that save was insane. And I think City are going to keep quite a few clean sheets this season because they usually do have a low expected goals conceded. But with their style, they concede some big chances every now and then. But when you have someone, a shot stopper like Donnarumma, who can stop those big chances, is a big shot stopper, big moment goalkeeper. I see them keeping a lot of clean sheets. So yeah, looking to invest in their defense could be an option when players present themselves. Their right back is I think 4.9 at the moment. So if he does nail down that spot, that could be a route into it. Could also look at a Donnarumma over Raya as well if you're looking for a more expensive keeper. Um, yeah, so that is what this game looked like, and that was the expected data for the weekend that has just passed. Interesting weekend. It hasn't been going great for lots of people at the moment. The picks we expect to do well haven't been doing incredible. I feel like there's a lack of targets even. Usually we don't know who we want to transfer in because there's too much to choose from. Now it feels like there's not enough people to choose from. But yeah, hopefully this video helps a bit. You can pause all the slides, check some different options, some new options could come to light with all of these expected datas from game to game. So if you use this, match it with the fixtures coming up, that could be a way to really unearth some new potential targets. Yeah, so thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll definitely be posting a team selection video later in the week, probably about Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah, hopefully you guys can join for that, and hopefully we have some good game weeks coming up.